What's the next question? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna get down and dirty and get personal. I'm gonna answer Google's most asked questions. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous of this because I've Googled my name once or twice before and some of the most asked questions were pretty personal, but I decided to let you guys in, and the whole thing about YouTube was showing you the real Chris Appleton. So let's get started. One of the most asked questions was, who is Chris Appleton? Chris Appleton is a hairstylist, originally from Leicester, Northern England, who moved to Hollywood 5 years ago and probably became a bit more known then by doing the likes of Kim Kardashian, Jennifer Lopez, Ariana Grande. And I guess, you know, Chris Appleton is a celebrity hairstylist, but he's also much more than that. He's a father of 2 children. He's been doing this job since he was 13 years old. Got my first job in a salon when I was 13. And I dreamed big. I knew that one day I would be, you know, hopefully working on Hollywood stars. That was kind of my dream back then. I started doing hair because I used to love making my mom look and feel good when I was like 9 years old. And I think that never really left me. So my whole kind of brand philosophy really is about making people look and feel their best. Because honestly, that's when the magic happens. Looking good is one thing, but when you feel good is when the whole thing comes together. Wow, in actual fact, I've never been married. There's been a few engagements along the way, there's been a few proposals, but never been married, never made it up the aisle. Who knows? Maybe now it's the time, but yeah, I'm not married. I get asked these questions so much. People are always like, how much you charge for a cut? How much you charge for this? I can't even tell you how much I charge, because, you know, honestly, I don't know. It's all done through an agency, and they decide the rates. It's a little bit more than when I worked in a salon. I can tell you that. It's not about the money, it's about the value of great hair. I think I'm my own boss. No, and there's a few people involved in my world. First of all, Brooke Wall. Brooke Wall is a very influential woman. She owns the Wall Group, which is an agency that I'm signed to. It's the only agency I've been signed to since I moved to America. I'm a very loyal person, and Brooke does an incredible job at, you know, I think managing someone's career, helping you steer in the right direction, helping you make decisions confidently. I have a lot of trust there, and I think one of the most important things of working with an agent is that you have trust. So Brooke has been a huge part of the growth of me and the growth of my brand, Chris Appleton. Honestly, I'm a little bit of a hoe with extensions. I kind of jump around. Different extensions offer different things. So for girls at home that just want like regular hair clip-ins, you know, I think it's fine to use affordable extensions. But for anything like high-end, like photo shoots or for long-term use, I tend to use more Russian hair. Russian hair tends to be finer towards the end. So it tends to be kind of thicker at the root, and then it comes down quite naturally and tapers down like natural hair does. Russian hair tends to be lighter in colour as well. It's not as dark, so it gives me more flexibility. Say I'm doing a colour like JLo's hair, it's easier to get that nice golden blonde, whereas if I use Indian hair, it tends to come quite dark and quite black, and it obviously takes a lot of lifting. Indian hair I tend to use for like longer lengths, like Kim's longer hair. Indian hair is really good because obviously it comes long and dark. But if I'm doing something like a JLo look, I'll probably go for more Russian hair because it's easier to lighten. And then there's Brazilian hair, which is great for texture. I would say, you know, I've worked with different brands before, like Glam Seamless, and, you know, I think really it's about finding the hair that suits you and your hair type. Because if your hair's finer, you need a type of hair. If your hair's thicker, you need a type of hair. Some people like clip-ins, some people like tape-ins. So I think for me, it's just important to be able to have something that works for everyone, and that's why I tend to jump around. It depends. My natural colour is actually brunette, so you'll be able to see here. It's brunette. Actually, there's a little bit of grey in there as well, unfortunately. So my natural colour is dark, but for the last 5 years I've been blonde. So I've bleached my hair. This is probably actually the darkest it's been for a minute. If you go to the light, you can see the blonde, but with COVID and stuff, I guess I let it grow out and I had dark hair. I did colour it back dark a few months back, and I kept it for approximately 48 hours. People would say to me things like, oh, it's nice, you just don't stand out anymore, or you dyed your hair dark. Silence, nothing. which to me indicates that most people prefer me as a blonde. My favorite time is probably when it's like dark and then the ends are blonder. So I like it when I've bleached it, but the roots come out a little bit darker. But yeah, I guess blonde has become part of my brand, and yeah, blondes have more fun, I guess. Okay, in my case, they do. I am from a small town in Leicester, and it's northern England, so there's a little bit of an accent up there. That's why some people maybe can hear a little bit of a twang to my accent. I lived there until I was 25 years old, and then I moved to London, where I lived in Angel, which is kind of central London. My mom is my biggest muse. My mom's name is Jane, and she still lives in the small town of Leicester, which I was brought up in. She's a mother of 5 kids, so I'm actually one of 5 siblings. I have 4 brothers and sisters. My mom was always my first model of doing hair. So at the age of 9, I used to do her hair because, you know, more than anything, I wanted to make her look good, and I wanted to kind of make her look like a Hollywood star. But I realized that when she stood up and looked in the mirror, that she felt good. And that for me was just so rewarding. When she stood up and looked in the mirror, I remember it now. I remember feeling like I made her feel good today. Like I made her feel herself. And that was a really powerful thing. It almost felt like a superpower. And I guess that's why I do what I do now. Chris Appleton's Salon. Well, I don't have a hair salon. I used to work in a hair salon from the age of 13 till I was 27. I worked in a salon called George's Hair Salon in Leicester, where I did all my education, all my learning. It was an amazing salon, still going strong. Okay guys, this is the salon, so it's called George's Hair Salon. This is where it all started out. Yeah, very grateful I had my time there, and it was really important for me to have that salon experience, because I think it's stuff that you just don't forget, and stuff you take with you through, you know, your whole career. In Hollywood, in Los Angeles, I live up Laurel Canyon. It's a really beautiful area because it's quiet, but you're still kind of in the mix of it all. I think I've learned to appreciate like some peace, and you know, so it's nice to have some quiet time, but I'm like 5 minutes away from the hustle and bustle of it all. Honestly, I would say consistency, hard work, determination, and making contacts. Don't ever forget how important it is to make contacts. I was working in a salon, and I realized I wanted to move out of a salon and kind of, I guess, grow, you know, and I feel like there was only so much I could do in a salon. So then I started to assist hairstylists that did session work. So I'd do fashion week, I'd assist hairstylists that did, you know, editorials and campaigns, and I learned a lot then. That really opened my eyes up to the power and possibilities of hairstyling. And I was working with a makeup artist once, and she was working with a girl called Rita Ora, and she was like, you know, Rita's looking for a hairstylist, I'll recommend you. And I was like, yeah, I'd love that. So I went back to my hotel that night, because I was still traveling from Leicester at the time, which was like a 2-hour car journey. And I sat there twiddling my thumbs, and I think I got the approval at like 12 o'clock at night. I'd paid for my hotel and everything, and just hoped that it was going to get booked. I didn't even have a change of clothes, and because I was supposed to go back to Leicester, and then they confirmed. I met Rita the next day, and we worked together for 2 years solid. Started doing her hair, and that was it. We just kind of hit it off. At the age of 30, I thought to myself, if I don't move on from this now, I'm never gonna leave England. And I'd had calls from JLo's team, and she'd just started doing the Vegas show, and I was thinking to myself, like, if I'm not available for these jobs, like if I'm not around, I know they're not going to sort of fly me out. So I decided to move to Los Angeles when I was 30, and I just literally just took the chance. I just moved. For 3 months I didn't do anything, and then I got my first call to do JLo's hair for the Ain't Your Mama music video, and yeah, that was it. That was the beginning. I remember I was terrified. I was so nervous, but the one thing that always motivated me was that if I didn't make this work, I would have to go back to England, and I really wanted to make it work. Easy. I've been fortunate enough to travel a lot. Obviously it's part of my job, it's kind of required. But one of the most amazing places, and I honestly will just never forget it, was the Tahiti island with Kim Kardashian for her 40th birthday. It was a private island. It was honestly just so beautiful, with great people, family and friends, and it was just a really special trip to be a part of, and without doubt, just some of the most breathtaking scenery I've ever seen. So if anyone's not been, you should definitely try it out if you ever get the opportunity. There's been a few, I'm gonna say 2. First of all would be Kim's Met Ball wet look, when she had the finger waves, and she had like, it was like, kind of like we stitched beads in and stuff. It was just really cool. I loved it because it was very different for Kim, and it was a real risk. It could have either looked great or not, you know, and it really pulled off. But I guess my all-time favorite has to be JLo's Super Bowl look. It was very simple. It was just beautiful, pretty hair. But it probably is the biggest reaction I've ever had from any hairstyle, because I guess the whole world was watching and everyone just seemed to love her hair bounce and swing around and swish back into place. And, you know, everyone said, like, how did you manage to make it stay in place? And it kept falling back into place. And I guess my secret is I use a lot of product to build like a scaffolding for the hair so it has memory. But yeah, that was definitely an all-time favorite. And just standing on that field in half time was just insane. It was just like, it almost took me back to being a kid and remembering why I did it, with a dream of one day doing this, and it happened. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching Google's most asked questions with Chris Appleton. If you guys have any questions, you can write them in below because I'm going to respond to your comments. Make sure you like and subscribe this video, and I'll see you next time.